Okay. Nice. All right, all right, all right. Fantastic. All right, we got this working. Fantastic. Hi, everybody. I'm Henry. I'm your friend in finance. Let me just give me 1 second. I'm going to share this really quick to my own page so that y'all can. Fantastic. Boom. And da-da-da-da. Great. Awesome. I just want to make sure it's working. Hi, everybody. Once again, my name is Henry. I'm your friend in finance. I'm happy to be here for another Money Monday. I want to just say a quick happy Valentine's Day to everybody who got to celebrate yesterday. And that kind of brings me to what today's going to be about. Today's topics are going to be because how do you get the most bang for your buck? When you have these holidays, when you have these moments when you're going to be spending money, what are some scientifically proven ways that you're going to be getting the most possible enjoyment for every dollar that you're going to be spending? So we're going to be talking about that a little bit later. In the meantime, if you do have any questions, please drop them in the comments section. Today, we're also going to be trying something new. I'm doing this through Zoom. So if you got any questions and you actually want to ask me, you want to get into it, send me a message. And I got it pulled up over here. So send me a message. I'll see it. I'll send you the Zoom link. And then I can bring you on and we can actually talk about it. We can actually chat. I'll be honest, I haven't quite thought through the technology for that, but I figure it's going to work because we're millennials, so we're pretty technologically savvy. One more disclosure: I do have an assistant today. It's not just me in the room. Give me 1 second. I've actually got my little dog here is going to be helping me with the broadcast today. So I hope you're all okay with that, everybody. This is my dog assistant, Lily. Lily, say hi to everybody. She's I wouldn't say she's camera shy. She's already been in a movie. She's a veteran at this. She's just being coy. She's a little princess. But yeah, she's going to be helping me out. So if you hear something moving around, it's her. Thanks, Lily. I appreciate the help. All right, so let's get into it. So there's actually one of the reasons why I love Plan and Act and why I love being a financial planner is because it's not just about when you think about money, it's not just about like rationally and logically what are the things that we're supposed to do. It's not a checklist, and that doesn't work for everybody. That's one of the things I really dislike about some other gurus you'll read online is that they try to offer one size fits all advice. It just doesn't end up working out for people, because people are people. Everybody's different. So there's actually a whole field of behavioral economics and behavioral science that goes into how do you actually come up with advice that people are actually able to go follow through with. Because people, especially when it comes to money, we can actually be pretty irrational. That's actually a pretty fundamental part of stock market and the way that people approach money. So what are some things that you would be able to do, because we're all going to spend money, but what are some things that you'd be able to do that are actually scientifically proven? This field of behavioral science actually proves that will make sure that you're able to enjoy every dollar you're spending to the utmost. And actually there's a book, and I don't have it here with me, there's a book highly recommend called Happy Money. It goes into a lot of this. It's a super easy read. It's actually got 5 tips. I'm only going to go into 3 of them today, but it's a very easy read. Highly recommended. Happy Money. I think one of the chapters starts out. It talks about Sarah Silverman's. When she God, let me try to make sure that I get this right. Sarah Silverman said she enjoys pot, porn, and fart jokes, but she doesn't use them all the time. She just wants to make sure that they are a treat. So that's one of their tips for making sure that you enjoy money. Make it a treat. So today we're going to be going into 3 other ones. they actually kind of go into these a little bit more. I'm gonna kind of talk about these in terms of thinking of Christmas, because we have different events, Valentine's Day, Christmas, that we're buying stuff for other people. So how can we make sure that not only we're getting the most enjoyment out of these events, but also that the people who we love are also getting as much enjoyment out of this as possible? The first one is buy experiences. That's one of the things that the book points out, that people actually get more enjoyment when they buy experiences instead of buying things. If you think about, like, I think the book talks about getting a watch. When you buy a watch, you usually buy it, and then something that we, as people do, we get used to something. So we end up getting used to it, and we don't really think about it as much. We get really used to it. In terms of, think of the Beanie Babies back in the day. You bought a Beanie Baby and you were very happy the first time you got it. They looked really cute, but then pretty quickly, the shine wore off, and you ended up kind of, putting the Beanie Baby to the side again, chucking it aside just like that. Something that actually has a much more lingering effect with making sure that you're enjoying the money that you spent is buying experiences. The reason for this is because we not only get to enjoy it at the moment, but we actually get to enjoy it again later on when we talk about it. Think about, like, the last time you went on a vacation or something like that. You went up to a cabin in the woods. Let me tell you about the camping that I did when I was a kid. Like, we have stories that we're able to tell. We tell these at parties, we tell these to friends. They're things we hold near and dear to our heart, and we actually associate them a lot more with our identity than things. I'm never going to say that Beanie Babies are a part of my identity, but I am going to say that going camping for 2 weeks at a time during the summer, that helped form me as a person. You might have the beach, you might have, going to Disney or something like that. Buying experiences ends up giving us a lot more enjoyment because of that aspect of shaping our identity and being able to talk about it later. One other thing I should, as we go into this next one is pay beforehand. One of the things that the book points out is that anytime we spend money, it registers in our brains in the same place that pain does. So if you ever had that moment when you looked at when you looked at your bank account and you didn't realize that that something, you had to pay a bill or something like that, and it was shocking, it hurt, your brain is literally processing it in the same part as if you were shocked and surprised by somebody punching you. So it totally makes sense, and that's one of the reasons why money is so stressful for a lot of people, is because spending money does register as pain. So because of that, paying money when you're talking about buying things for other people, we want to make sure that or buying things for yourself, you want to make sure that you're enjoying it the most possible, while also having the least pain possible associated with that. So something very important to keep in mind is paying beforehand. Something that happened to me before was that I bought a bed with a credit card. Okay, and this bed, I didn't pay it off right away at the end of the month like you're supposed to. This was years ago. I didn't pay it off at the end of the month like you're supposed to. The bed was okay. It's still here. It's actually here in my office. It's okay. It doesn't give me any great sense of pleasure, especially because we're not using it anymore. But over time, I kept having to pay for it, and I kept pay equals pain. So that pain kept happening over and over and over again. I mean, just take a moment to kind of think of anything in your life where you had to continually pay over and over and over for it. The enjoyment you experienced, it probably became less large, in terms of size and ratio. We're looking at, like, oh yeah, this dragon gives me a lot of enjoyment. If you pay right away, oh, that's, this isn't quite as big. The pain is not quite as big as the dragon, so we're fine. But if you keep having to pay for it, then suddenly it's like you have two Beanie Babies instead of the one, and you can see that they're almost the same size. So you want to make sure that the pleasure you get from something is as much bigger as possible as the pain you get from paying for it as possible. So pay beforehand. That's the thing. You can do things like a great example of that is something that Molly and I did for the weekend. There was a show that had some great COVID precautions going on, and we actually paid beforehand. We bought tickets to the show, and this is going to actually lead into the next one. So that what ended up happening is we get to go to the show, we get to enjoy it. We don't have to show up and go through the pain of paying for it. We don't have that moment right there. Plus, something else that the Happy Money points out is that when you pay beforehand, there's something called the sunk cost. Like strategizing that your brain goes through, where if you still have to pay for it, if you're paying for something and you wake up that morning and you're not feeling great, you're gonna feel obligated to go, and you're probably not gonna have as great a time. Whereas if you've already paid for it, the money's already gone, we are also much more willing to go, you know what, that money's already gone. I feel really bad right now, so I'm just going to stay home and take care of myself. So you end up actually having a better night because of that than if you forced yourself to do something you really didn't want to do. So pay beforehand. So far we have buy experiences and pay beforehand. The third thing, it kind of goes in line with pay beforehand. Oh, and let's tie pay beforehand back into like Christmas. One of the reasons why people get so angry and depressed about Christmas is because we actually pay for the gifts with credit cards. So Christmas comes and goes, we've received the gifts, January comes and we're still paying for them. And we have that knowledge even in December, and that's one of the reasons why December can feel for some people so heavy, so dreadful. If, on the other hand, we can get to a point where we pay beforehand, then we don't have that looming dread over us, and we can just enjoy Christmas as much as possible. Same goes with giving gifts or experiences at any other point in the year. Pay beforehand. The third thing that we're going to cover today is called build anticipation. This kind of goes into paying beforehand because especially if you're buying something for yourself, I recently had for work, I bought a new computer and I paid beforehand, and because the computer had to be built, it had to be customized and all that, it took a while for the computer to get to me. Molly was laughing at me because that whole month that they were building the computer, I was constantly talking about the computer. Ooh, you know what? The computer's it's only 2 weeks away. It's only 1 week away. And every time that we imagine things like that we have that anticipation, we actually register that in the same part of our brains as if we've already had it. And it's even better because we're not limited to what it actually is. We actually get to imagine how much we're going to enjoy the thing that we're going to get. Just take a moment and think about how much you could enjoy a piece of chocolate. Chocolate comes and goes, but if you can stop yourself and just anticipate getting that piece of chocolate, just think and imagine how good that piece of chocolate's going to be, you actually end up getting a lot more enjoyment out of that piece of chocolate. Roald Dahl talked about this in Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. Charlie wouldn't just scarf down his chocolate because they were poor. He eat a nibble at a time for the chocolate he got for his birthday. So his chocolate ended up lasting all month. He was getting enjoyment out of this the entire month, whereas every other kid was just scarving it down. So this is something that's wonderful because it's absolutely free. If you can hold off on consuming the thing that you bought for even just a little bit, every moment that you hold off, that's a little bit more enjoyment that you're getting out of it. Christmas does this brilliantly. We make a whole show out of anticipation because we wrap things up, we put it under the tree. In the end, and that's even better because we don't even know what the gift is. So our minds are just imagining the endless possibilities of what we could be receiving for Christmas. It's fantastic. We enjoy the entire season. Christmas is an entire season. It's not just a day. So we have these 3 things that you can do to make sure that every dollar you're spending gives you as much enjoyment as possible. buy experiences, give yourself stories. Don't just give yourself a thing that you get and then you use, but you don't get any more enjoyment out of it. Buy experiences, pay beforehand. Don't let the pain of paying for something ruin your enjoyment of something once you actually get it. Pay beforehand so that it's done, it's out of the way. And finally, build anticipation. This could be even a thing such as like just letting yourself know, like, oh, I'm going to buy myself something in the future. If you can give yourself that little bit of anticipation so you can really sit down and imagine it, science proves you're going to be enjoying that a lot more. So those are the three things that I wanted to touch on today. I know it probably sounds a little bit difficult too, especially if you're especially if you've never consciously tried to do these things before. It can be difficult to kind of break the cycle of like, no, I bought a chocolate, I'm going to eat it. I'm really bad with ice cream. I buy the ice cream and I eat it. It can be difficult to break that habit, to break that cycle, and that's actually what a financial planner can actually help with. And actually, I'm going to actually talk about this for a little bit because I've had a lot of people ask me like, what does a financial planner do? And a lot of people have even said things like, I'm not in a place where I can use a financial advisor. And I'll be honest, I think that everybody can use a financial advisor because ultimately we're basically like coaches. Just take our name, Plan and Act. That's exactly what we do. We help people plan and we help people act. Some people they've come to me and they don't even know but they don't know what their goals should be, and that's okay. It just hasn't come up. They've been doing great so far in life, but to get to the next stage, they need a plan. So I help them formulate the plan. Other people know what they should be doing. They know they should be investing in something. They know they should be doing more, but they haven't been able to do it. And that's where I come in, providing the support and the training and the behavioral science to help people act. One of the things that Bob is like loves to say is knowledge is potential power. Once you act on it, it becomes power. So we help with both stages of that. We help provide the knowledge, we help provide the plan, and then we also offer the guidance and the tools that people need to actually follow through with that plan. Because any strategy, you can come up with any strategy you want. If you don't follow through with it, it's as if you don't have any strategy at all. So that's what a financial planner is actually there for, and that's why I think that financial planners can actually help everybody, even if it's something as simple as helping people maintain hope, which is something that's pretty important nowadays with the way the world is. The world hasn't ended, and I believe in you. You got this. Whatever challenges you're facing, you got this. Even if you just need somebody in the corner telling you that. That's something that we can absolutely do. So yeah, that's what a financial planner does. We use Nobel Prize winning science to help do those things, from behavioral science to economics. But ultimately, a financial planner is that coach who helps you make that plan and helps you act on that plan. And that's why Bob chose the name Plan and Act. We're here for you. That's everything I wanted to say today. There's no comments here today. That's totally all right. Thank you so much for listening. Again, my name's Henry. I'm your friend in finance. I hope you guys had a fantastic Valentine's Day. I hope you guys have a fantastic week. I'm going to see you again next week. Don't forget that we have a webinar coming up on the 25th. It's going to be on diversification and using Bitcoin in your portfolio, which is pretty exciting. A lot of fuss has been made about Bitcoin recently because Elon Musk Tesla actually bought a whole bunch of Bitcoin because they plan on taking Bitcoin as payment now. So a lot of excitement around there. What does that mean for you? Come join us in the webinar. It's totally free. You can see the link to it is going to be on our Facebook page. Again, if you haven't yet, give Plan and Act a like. We're here for you. If you have any questions, send me a message. Send Plan and Act a message. We're going to get back to you right away. Thank you so much for listening. And I'm just going to one more time, my assistant. Bye from both of us. Thanks so much, guys. Now I'm going to try to exit, and I lost the cool button to end on, so I'm gonna wave one more time. There we go. Bye.